What's up, everybody? Ryan from JoBlo.com here. I am here at the Harmony Gold Theater in Hollywood on the red carpet for the new Sarah Paulson thriller, Hold Your Breath, which is now available on Hulu. Check out a clip.
You see, he's not of this world. He's been sneaking into our house, moving things at night, trying to hurt the girls. He can get through locks, closed windows. He comes apart like dust. He seeps in through the crack. Please, come on. You can breathe him in. He'll make you do terrible things.
Hi, Sarah. Ryan from JoBlo. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You know that somebody, when we were doing our press day, called you JoBlo?
And thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah,
This has been
thank
great.
you so much, JoBlo.
Thank you.
Like, we could be JoBlo.
JoBlo, but you're not. I don't think you're JoBlo, but she didn't know, and it's okay.
We're going to rebrand now. Thank you for that.
To JoBlo.
Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of your work. You've carved out such an amazing corner in the horror genre all to yourself. I kind of wanted to know what attracts you to the world of horror that you keep kind of returning to this world.
Well, to me, it is a game of high stakes. The horror genre, you are literally meeting someone usually in a life or death circumstance or situation, which lends itself, I think, to big swings as an actor. And I love a big swing as an actor. And I cut my teeth on American Horror Story and in Ryan Murphy's world, where the stakes are often incredibly high, and I think the most fun playground to play in. And so it's just really got me very, very excited about working in this world. And so I get very excited that I keep being asked to do it, and that audiences keep showing up to see me do it is a real gift.
Absolutely. And so for this film, you're drawing on a very specific real world horror. Like I grew up from a family of Dust Bowl survivors. I heard these stories, and what you brought to the film in this captures everything I kind of perceived through their tales. So kind of interpreting the trauma of your character and getting into this headspace, the madness, the sadness, everything going on, kind of what do you do every day on set to get yourself in the zone, and how did you get out of it?
Well, getting out of it is, I think, harder for me than getting into it, and subsequently I end up just sort of staying in it longer than I should. And I don't mean method-wise, I just mean I don't know how to I've said this before, but I don't know how to get on my phone and look at Instagram and then go run screaming from a dust cloud. So it's I kind of have to go somewhere mentally in order to do it, and I don't even know sometimes how or why. It's one of those beautiful moments of alchemy where you're just oh, thank God there's some resource in there, and I don't know what it is, and paging Dr. Freud, we got to figure that out, but I'm gonna just continue to mine it for all I can, and then one day I'll hang it up and maybe not have to dredge up all this stuff anymore.
And just one last quick question, since it's the Halloween season, we're here for a horror film, kind of a fun one. What's been your favorite Halloween costume so far in your life?
So here's the deal, I hate Halloween. I don't like to dress up because guess what? I'm in costume all the time. This what I'm wearing now is kind of a costume. I mean, not really, because it's my personal taste, but this is part of the job, is that I'm constantly wearing a dead person's head, wig hair, you know what I mean? Somebody's, I'm putting on someone's weird teeth, I'm wearing glasses that I don't wear, it's just all kinds of things that have to do with costuming that Halloween, I'm always just oh God. I mean, I love everyone else's excitement about it, it just doesn't get me going.
Fair enough. Every day is Halloween for you, so,
Every day is Halloween for me.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Good to meet JoBlo, I appreciate it.
Thank you. You did something that I find harder and harder to achieve, which is portray realistic terror. How did you get yourself into the headspace for these super intense scenes and moments?
It wasn't that hard with the cast that I was working with. Everyone is so talented that I felt like I was just reacting off of their performances. Yeah, it was such an incredible experience, and I feel like I grew a lot as an actress doing this film.
And I've heard a little bit about the experience of filming this, that there were, some real dust storms and a very harsh environment. What were some of the challenges for you in approaching this film in a practical standpoint?
I mean, from a practical standpoint, we were filming during monsoon season in New Mexico, so there were actual dust storms happening. That's why I was attracted to it, because I knew that I would grow a lot as an actress.
And, this is a film set in a very real and horrific period in American history. Did you do any research into your character to become this person from almost 100 years ago?
Yeah, of course. I love a period piece. So I was really excited. But yeah, I did a lot of research, especially on the Dust Bowl and what the people went through that lived through that. You know, that's a horror movie in itself. So.
And just kind of a fun one. We're here, it's a horror movie, it's the Halloween season. What's been your favorite Halloween costume you've had so far?
I'm always just a cat. It's a good choice, a solid, basic, you know. I don't really think too much of it. I just put something together the night before. So.
Respect. Well, thank you very much. It was a fantastic film, and congratulations on this.
Thank you so much. So nice meeting you.
So I'm from a family of Dust Bowl survivors. I grew up with stories of this horrific event told by my grandparents. And so I just wanted to say right off the bat that you both really captured the horror and the sheer monstrosity of this environment in a beautiful way. So I kind of wanted to know what your process was in making a disaster a villain.
You know what's crazy is the Dust Bowl was so horrifying that we actually scaled back details that were just almost seemed impossible to believe. Like, I remember we read that there would be arcs of electricity because the air was so dry that would kind of shoot from your hand, or like cow horns would glow.
Yeah.
And so we almost had to scale back from how terrifying it was. But I honestly think it was not hard. It was like, if you've ever spent a day at the beach and then spent all day going like, ugh, like sand is everywhere, that sort of insidious feeling that not only can this dust swallow the sun, but it can worm its way into your house and there's no stopping it. We just tried to marry that with Margaret's journey of protecting her kids, and each time she thinks she can kind of save them and protect them, the dust finds its way in a different way.
And throughout the story, you know, it's kind of hinted at there's a little more to this dust than meets the eye. The story of the Gray Man, did you dwell on any real folklore as inspiration for this story?
We know real folklore, but Karrie and I are both from the rural South and grew up with lots of scary stories being told by old folks that had an undercurrent of a lesson to it. So it's this horrifying story that's supposed to scare the pants off a kid, but the real thing is like, oh, don't go near the river, you'll drown. And so that kind of history of storytelling was used to create this myth of the Great Man.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, what boogeyman can we make that will teach kids about the dust and how to protect themselves, but hopefully also can sort of be a stand-in for trauma and anxiety.
And I had read that this was written pre-COVID, pre-quarantine. Did you find our real-life COVID quarantine experience kind of affected the film as you went into it?
Yeah, at one point I remember looking out our window and seeing a mom like struggle to get a mask on her kid. And that sort of razor's edge between her trying to protect the child but also sort of suffocating him, it just sort of solidified the imagery to us. But it also made it very primal and personal, like especially early in the pandemic, we didn't know exactly how the virus was transferred, like is it coming in on boxes? And so that idea of this invisible evil enemy, it all felt very prescient.
Yeah.
And lastly, with this being your first big feature after a long career of writing, shout out Westworld, what was it about this story that made you go, this is the one? What was the genesis of this tale that really made you focus on this?
I think the challenge of taking, like we love films like The Shining, but the thing that overtakes Jack Nicholson is this evil house, and it was, for me, really fun to think, how can I have an empathic connection with this heroine and think, what could overtake me? And so I think tapping into the anxiety of trying to protect your loved ones and seeing how that can take a dark turn was just really appealing and fun for us.
You portray being scared so well. When you approach this performance, what do you do to get scared on screen? Do you think about something?
I don't know. It's like hard to describe, I guess.
It just comes natural to you. Now, I heard a lot about kind of the challenges of making this movie, that there was real dust, you were in kind of a harsh environment. What were some of the challenges that you personally faced?
Lightning strikes, and like I had to stop early, so everyone had to squeeze my time in to like a few hours. There was a real dust storm.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That we didn't make.
That's crazy. And, we're kind of talking about the challenges, but there must have been some fun on set, too. Do you have any favorite memories from making this?
I really like playing in the wheat and running with Ada, my little sister, and Amiah, my older sister in the movie. And also like base camp, playing around. It's fun.
And lastly, this is a horror movie. It's coming out during October, so I have to ask about my favorite holiday. What's been your favorite Halloween costume so far, and are you dressing up this year?
I really liked Athena when I was Athena. This year, I don't know what I'm going to be.
Because this is a Sarah Paulson vehicle, what is your favorite Sarah Paulson performance?
Oh my goodness. You're putting so much pressure on me. Don't do that to me.
I know, I'm sorry.
On the Instagram story, I'm so looking forward to seeing her work. I love Sarah Paulson. She's the goddess of everything.
Huge agree.
She has so many. But the recent movie I just watched, Run, on Hulu, she was great in that one.
Super good.
Yes, it was great.
Are you much of a horror movie person?
Yes, I love horror. People think I'm crazy, but I love horror. I love horror so much.
You're in good company, I promise.
Yes, I look forward to watching the film.
Now, since it is the Halloween season and you're here for a horror movie, I do want to ask about seasonally specific, what has been your favorite Halloween costume you've had in your whole lifetime?
Whoa. One of my favorite ones I think it was in 2015, I did The Bride of Frankenstein from the 1800s. That's awesome. So I found a cool vintage dress in Melrose, the lace all the way up to my neck with white stuff in my hair, and I did the whole thing from the 1800s.
That sounds awesome. And Leslie, what are you looking forward to in this movie tonight?
Oof. The story and the feeling of it. The emotions. And getting scared, too. Psychologically, too. So I'm looking forward to all that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us. Enjoy the movie.
So much. Thank you.
My advice, say keep the house sealed best you can. Relax. You're taking your sleeping aid.
Any word on that drifter?
What if it happens again?
This girl's unlucky to have you. You don't think that? He could be anywhere!
Was he in me?
Mom? If you breathe him in,
Get inside!
he'll make you do terrible things.
We're very well. You?